Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try, reading books, binging self-help videos, something invisible keeps pulling you back? That's not weakness. It's a hidden frame training the mind to obey, appease, and shrink, until the name that matters most, the one spoken when saying no, goes silent. This frame wears many masks, but here we'll call it the comfortable lie of being good without strategy. The kind of goodness that smiles while it bleeds. The kind that asks permission to exist. Today isn't a video, it's a rupture. And yes, it might sting. Birth has the sound of freedom. From early on, the script was clear. Don't cry, it's ugly, don't complain, it's rude. Be nice, they'll love you. No one told the real price. Every swallowed "I am not okay" buys a seat in a theater where the audience applauds the docile and ignores the whole. Confusing being likable with being just turns a person into scenery, not a protagonist. Fearing conflict turns a person into a live translator of what others want. Good intentions don't save anyone from how the world works. The world doesn't hear intention. The world responds to presence, boundary, consequence. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few feel who you truly are. It's not an invitation to cruelty. It's a warning against naivety. Image communicates before words. The body, the pause, the gaze that doesn't plead, the unspoken with a spine. When the image is always available, the label becomes resource. Resources are used, not honored. Resources are forgettable. The person who becomes a resource starts apologizing for breathing. One day, a brutal discovery lands. The hand on the collar was one's own. Others only followed the script written by the absence of boundaries. The cycle is predictable. Goodness without contour, usefulness without reciprocity, exhaustion, silent resentment, repeat. It looks like morality. It's fear. Fear of not being loved. Fear of losing crumbs of belonging. Fear of being called selfish for having a preference. Here's the painful, liberating truth. Those who live afraid of abandonment abandon themselves first. Daily, with interest. The cost is quiet and heavy. Identity thins out, self-respect gets outsourced. Choices slip to autopilot that preserves everyone else's peace and sabotages one's own. This isn't about becoming stone. It's about not being a sponge. Not about shouting. It's about not apologizing for occupying space. Kindness without structure becomes a welcome mat for emotional predators. Compassion without criteria feeds parasites with light. The issue isn't feeling too much. It's denying oneself to deserve. The only goodness that counts is born free. It chooses where to land and refuses blackmail. The other type is just armor shining over a heart that shakes at the thought of disappointing anyone. Here's a necessary metaphor. Fox and lion. The fox spots traps, reads intent, and keeps a half step of distance from the social board. The lion imposes respect through silence, posture, and a non-negotiable line. Only fox breeds cynicism and burnout. Only lion breeds bluntness and fragility. Both together breed wholeness. Fox to stop falling into the old game of trading appeasement for validation. Lion to break the cycle with a clean enough. Not dramatic, just final. Not to be cruel. To be inevitable. Maybe discomfort rises now. They'll call me cold. They will. People call cold anyone who steps out of the role of emotional case. They'll say I changed. They will. The old choreography lost a dancer, and the music of control goes off key. That discomfort means the spine is returning to place. The voice relearns how to cross the chest. The mirror reflects a face that doesn't drop its eyes to stay loved. The price of authenticity is being misunderstood by those who profited from the domesticated version of a person. First practical step, a concessions inventory. List 3 recent times a yes was said with a knot in the throat. Write the real cost of each yes: time, energy, self-respect, money. Second step, a ready rescue response, a short sentence that lives on the tongue. Not now. That doesn't work for me. Thanks, I'll pass. No justification, no thesis. Over-explaining is the password to old games. Third step, a visible symbolic boundary. A small, unmistakable gesture that communicates new architecture. Hours that aren't negotiated. Do not disturb on the phone. A calendar locked to what matters. Weekly training in tolerating the discomfort of disappointing others. The world reads signals. Signals are choices repeated. If the calendar says anything goes, the world believes it. If the voice says no and the body obeys, the world notices. Life is boundary diplomacy, not poetry about straight-line goodness. Respect is born when consequence is predictable, not from shouting, from pattern. The old pattern said, "I'll handle it, use me." The new pattern says, "I choose, and not everything gets to reach me." Between those two sentences, a sea of guilt. Guilt is the bacteria that early conditioning installs to prevent a revolt. Cure it with repeated exposure. Say no and survive the frown. 10 times, 20, the chest learns. Before the next turn, a ritual pause. Breathe. The key question: does one's goodness come from love or fear? If it's love, it bends to embrace without losing its edge. If it's fear, it dissolves to fit any container. Love builds bonds between whole people. Fear builds dependency between halves. One gives peace with a spine. The other gives anxiety with a smile. Password for the comments: presence before pleasing. Write it to seal the choice. And if the decision is alive, the pinned link leads to an ancient, simple, demanding method. Daily practice, a map of limits, and a recalibration of self-image. It's for those who are done being a resource and ready to become a presence again. In the next block, the strategic turn, how to activate the prince within without losing the soul, aligning image, decision, and personal power, not to dominate, but to stop being dominated by the fear of displeasing. Breathe. The rest of life doesn't fit in the role of the nice one. A question splits the road. Do you want to be loved at any cost, or free enough to be loved without self-betrayal? The first path chews integrity into crumbs. The second demands walking through silent hallways of disapproval. Emotional freedom isn't isolation. It is the capacity to stay without selling one's bones for a hug. It's the art of choosing where to invest one's light. 3 pillars drive the turn. Pillar 1, congruent image. Not a mask, a frame that protects the content. Congruent image is when the body S message and the mouth S promise, don, T contradict. Direct language, pauses that don't apologize, aligned posture, eyes that don't seek permission. Practical drill, a daily gravity minute, in the mirror. 1 boundary line spoken calmly, shoulders down, jaw loose, steady gaze. Record it, rewatch. Adjust congruence until the body stops betraying the voice. Image educates the world and re-educates the self. Pillar 2, boundary strategy. Boundaries aren't reactions, they're architecture. It starts in the calendar. 3 sacred weekly blocks for sleep, body, and silence. Everything else orbits. Then binary criteria for yes. If there's no reciprocity, if it crosses a value, if resentment is foreseeable, it's a no. Binary criteria protect against self-deception. But they'll think I'm difficult. Being difficult to those who used docility as a shortcut is an excellent filter. Life improves exponentially when the right people stay, and the wrong ones lose access. Pillar 3, predictable consequence. No theatrics, no blow-ups, just consistency. Cross the line, meet the same response every time. I don't answer outside our agreement. No respect, no access. In a rush, not a priority. This discourages manipulators and reassures the insecure. A home with clear rules is more loving than a smile-only home with jelly walls. Now the animal's metaphor grows muscles. Fox maps. Lion decides. Fox practice. For 7 days, list the recurring traps that eat time and peace. People, hours, contexts. Naming the trap steals its magic. The invisible rules only while nameless. Lion practice. Pick 1 small situation and set a boundary in advance without justification. Do not renegotiate. Resist the urge to soften with explanations. The lion doesn't submit essays. The lion transmits a signal. Fear might ask for a guarantee that you won't lose everyone. You won't. You'll lose what can't hold your wholeness. In return, you gain concrete respect even from those who grumbled. Adult life runs on consequences. The child begs for love and accepts anything. The adult gives love without selling their spine. Respect is the prerequisite of durable affection. Without it, care becomes disguised leverage. Internally, swap one question to accelerate change. From, how can I make them like me, to, who deserves my best? The first hijacks focus and breeds performative anxiety. The second restores agency and selects with criteria. The result is a presence that doesn't throb for approval, offered as a choice, not as a plea. The right people know that field and move closer. Parasites lose interest when blood turns to iron. Everyday tools. The no thesis rule. Don't explain. Communicate. The micro-no rule. Practice declining small daily asks to build the muscle without drama. The one discomfort a day rule. Choose one act the old self would avoid to keep the peace. The neuroplasticity of self-respect is sculpted by repetition, not epiphany. When guilt arrives, treat it like weather, not a judge. It's guilt raining. Open an umbrella of breath and keep walking. Repositioning guilt is the last trick of the old identity to pull the leash back. The leash is in your hand, not on your neck. When tempted to justify, go quiet, feel the feet, hold the gaze, and return responsibility to whoever tries to pass it over. Courtesy isn't submission. Kindness isn't servitude. Ritual CTA. If this message lit up discomfort and relief in the same measure, that's the sign it hit the right nerve. Comment the password. Boundary is adult love. Write the last time a no was said without a later apology. That note isn't for the algorithm, it's for memory to know you've begun. And if the pull is to systematize, the pinned link leads to a practical method. 21 days of self-image recalibration, boundary strategy, and fox-lion training. No magic promises. Concrete steps. Simple, ancient, effective. On the end screens, 2 paths. One will irritate, the part still addicted to approval. The other will free, the one that hands over a quiet map of limits. No spoilers. The ready recognize it by the pulse in the chest. If the voice shook, that's normal. Shaking isn't retreat, it's being born again. The rest of your life will thank you. And yes, it's still possible to be a good person, just not at the cost of your soul.